Welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm going to cover some topics about the area of Castle Rock, Colorado. It's been getting a lot of attention recently, and people are questioning, should they or should they not move to this area? So stick around, I'm going to unpack pieces of that next. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Bill Knapp and I'm a residential realtor here in the Denver metro area, covering everywhere from the Monument area down south all the way up to Boulder and neighborhoods in between. I'm really fortunate. I get to work with a lot of people that are moving to the Colorado area, specifically Denver and surrounding neighborhoods, and also helping people moving within the state of Colorado, which is kind of awesome. And I produce these videos as a way to try and give some information, some insights on what it's like to live in these locations, because I understand moving here from a place, it might feel foreign and unknown. So hopefully this information is a little bit helpful. If I say anything along the lines that is helpful for you, do me a favor, just hit that subscribe, like, and bell notification. That way you can keep in the loop every single time I release a new video. Okay, enough of all that. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of why you're here, to learn about Castle Rock, Colorado. Now, if you're unfamiliar about the town of Castle Rock, it's located approximately 30 to 35 minutes due south of Denver, Colorado itself. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, this city has actually become more and more attractive to a lot of people, primarily because of its location. It's almost centrally located between downtown Denver and Colorado Springs, kind of in like this Goldilocks zone. So if you're a resident there, young professional or otherwise, you can get to both downtown Denver and Colorado Springs relatively easily, making this kind of a commuter's hallmark location, perfect for a lot of different jobs and opportunities. Additionally, it's only about 15 to 25 minutes to the Denver Tech Center and about 40 minutes or so out to Denver International Airport, meaning that this central location for the Castle Rock neighborhood is kind of a desire for most people moving into the area. Plus, this kind of gets into why people are really finding Castle Rock amazing and important. It's similar to the neighborhoods to the north, like Castle Pines Village, Castle Pines North, Highlands Ranch, and Parker. It has a similar vibe and feel to that, but it's a little bit farther removed, which makes people really attracted to the area, coupled with the fact that it has amazing mountain views. It is known for the Castle Rock formation, which is on the center side of town. It has buttes, it has mountain views, it has rolling topography, and a sprawling landscape, meaning that wherever you are in Castle Rock, chances are you're gonna get that Colorado feel and vibe. So all that put together is really my first point on why people are thinking that Castle Rock could be their fit. It's the location and the community vibe. The vibe itself, the people who live there are amazing. They're so nice, so relaxed. Most of them are very happy about the location because it's far enough away from things but close enough to things that they have whatever they need at their fingertips. And that's a really hard thing to find here in Colorado. Plus, it is a community event, community inspired neighborhood feel all the way through Castle Rock, which is really awesome. It has a downtown Main Street with a walking promenade, also home to a farmer's market, plus an amphitheater. They've been revitalizing the whole area, giving it a mix of brand new commercial development plus residential developments. So it's really kind of got this exciting, energetic vibe about it that people really are attracted to, which includes places like the Great Divide Brewing Company. There's some really good restaurants. And then if you go across the way, we have a bunch of like shopping, like the outlets at Castle Rock are a huge draw for tourists because, well, A, that's awesome. It's the outlet. You get good deals on really amazing things like name brand products. Plus, there are top tier restaurants located in and around those outlet malls, making it kind of like a one-stop shop for anybody that wants to come a little bit further south, get away from like the Park Meadows area or like the Cherry Creek area, and have more of that like not small town, but not big town Colorado feel and vibe. So it's all encompassing. Then another piece that's really, really incredible about it, it has amazing parks and trails. The park and the trailhead are very, very close. It's just on the outside of downtown Castle Rock, and it's really scenic. Plus, there is an enormous star lighting festival that happens every single year around the holidays at the Castle Rock, where there's this big star that's been erected there since I don't even remember the year it was put up, but it draws a huge crowd. It's a kickstart to some of the holiday season. The Main Street area is filled with dozens of people. There's lots of libations and celebrations happening. It's just this warm, like small town feel in a bigger neighborhood community. And that is probably one of the main reasons that people love coming here. Moving on to another reason why people are really attracted to the Castle Rock location, I think I'm safe in saying it's because of its diversity. It has a little bit of home for everyone. It has townhomes, condos, single-family homes. There's some multifamily stuff in there as well, mix of commercial and residential, and it is super diverse in the fact that it has homing and housing for 55+ communities, young families, young professionals, singles, you name it. There's an opportunity for you in this location, especially if you're somebody that really likes that community feel and vibe. Now with that, you're gonna see a mix of different kinds of neighborhoods, and it's because the way that Castle Rock was constructed and laid out, it's actually bisected by the I-25 highway, which separates the east side and west side, not by neighborhoods, just by location and by itself. That said, the eastern side of Castle Rock tends to be a little bit older. It tends to have some larger plots. It also has new construction, so don't consider it as old. It's just a little bit older because they developed the east side first. They also expanded the eastern side to go further towards an area called Franktown and Elizabeth, which is kind of on the southern side of Parker, Colorado. And then Castle Rock will finally round itself all the way out to the southeastern side as it kind of nears the northern end of Monument. So that eastern side of the Castle Rock location is enormous, with a variety of different style of homes, from high-end luxury to just entry-level condominiums, you name it, it's over there. Now, if you go on the other side of the highway, onto the western side of I-25, you'll be greeted by the Castle Rock Outlet Mall. You'll also get greeted by a whole bunch of natural landscaping and several amazing neighborhoods that most people are drawn to. Namely, the one that is most common is called the Meadows, which is a mix of newer construction, newer contemporary style homes, some classic contemporary style homes. It's a very posh but very welcoming neighborhood feel, and it's also interspersed with a bunch of different schools, which I'll touch on in just a second. The affordability index for Castle Rock is questionable. I'll touch on that in just a little bit, but let's just say that if you have a budget starting at about $380,000 to $400,000, you can find a place in Castle Rock. You can also find an amazing place in Castle Rock at $2 million plus. It really depends on what's your draw, which is another attractor to the Castle Rock neighborhood because it's just so diversified and spread out really, really well. They planned this place pretty nicely to the fact that you can get almost anywhere and find almost anything you need in a comfortable little package. Now you take all of that, the schools, the community, the location, couple that with the niche.com rating that Castle Rock is a top 20 suburb to live for the entire state of Colorado. It maybe will help sort of display why people are very attracted to this location. And it hasn't been fully built out yet, like some other areas to the north, like Highlands Ranch is almost fully built out. Parker is pretty close to being built out. Aurora is on its way, but it has a lot of room to the east. Castle Rock is getting built out, but it's not built out yet, which means as you get in now, the property value of whatever you obtain will likely go up and commensurate with the growth of the area. If that's not enough information to kind of pique your interest about Castle Rock, let me give you just a little bit more reason why you should consider looking into the Castle Rock location. And let's start with the diversity of all the different offerings. If you're an antiquer, there are antique stores all up and down Main Street which have stuff that I have not seen anywhere else. It's kind of like hometown Ohio where I grew up, put here in the mountains of Colorado. It's absolutely awesome, warm, and welcoming. Also, across the highway is the Miller Activity Complex, which is, simply put, phenomenal. It's an indoor-outdoor complex that has everything for everything, from indoor pool to lacrosse to soccer to basketball. I think it has volleyball, swimming. Then outside they have ball fields for whatever kind of sport you need. If you aren't feeling overwhelmed about the complex yet, it has a zip line complex, a climbing tower. It also has a mini incline, which is awesome for training, getting those legs and those lungs ready for those Colorado hikes. And it's very, very scenic, and it's just free to use. You show up, park, and go use the incline. If you want to do the zip linings, you pay for that. And if you want to use the ball fields, as long as nobody's out there, you're free to go out there and have family events, barbecues, whatever you want. And it's all just an offering right there as part of Castle Rock. If you are a golfer, Castle Rock has access to several golf courses, and the area receives about 300 days of sun per year, which means you can roughly golf year-round in Castle Rock and have amazing views right out your back door, which is pretty amazing if you're a golfer. And now I mentioned the Main Street area and the different restaurants and the different offerings that are happening there. We are seeing more and more restaurants move in. We have existing ones like the Bistro, which is Union Bistro, which is fantastic, and I've been there a handful of times on date night and just to meet people for happy hour. stores, but there's also places over by the outlet malls like La Loma, which is an amazing Mexican restaurant, has incredible food. They make the tortillas right in front of you. So the area is really diversifying itself nicely from entry-level restaurants to stuff that's a little bit more high-end. Now, in addition to the golfing and all the activities and such, another good thing that makes this suburb one of the top 20 suburbs for Colorado is its school system. It's located within Douglas County, and the schools here are top rated, and they have things for every kind of student out there, which is fantastic. So we have magnet schools, charter schools, private schools, religious schools. I highly recommend going to greatschools.org or checking it out on niche.com. The majority of the schools in the Castle Rock area are interspersed within the neighborhoods, and they have amazing sports and athletic and academic programs. So that, along with everything else about Castle Rock, is just another amazing contributing factor. Moving off of the schools, the other thing I've already mentioned about Castle Rock is that it is a shopping destination thanks to the outlets at Castle Rock. That pulls a lot of people in. It's on all the different tourist radars, the great deals, all the different variety of stores. But if you go over to Main Street Castle Rock, they have a bunch of boutique shops for one and antique shops for another, and these antique shops are not to be missed. They're absolutely amazing. There's a place there called The Barn that has a really amazing situation inside and out, lots of amazing stuff inside. I'm not an antique person myself, they kind of freak me out, just fully saying, but I know people that love going to these antique stores, not only to find the gifts for the people that want something a little bit more unique and unusual, but also maybe something of nostalgic or interest to somebody from way back when. There's plenty of that in Castle Rock, and I highly recommend that being something you check out if you stop by the area. Now, hopefully I was able to give a high-level overview of why Castle Rock is definitely a place to consider looking. But like any place in America, there is always going to be some bad with some of the good. Fortunately for Castle Rock, there's not a whole lot of bad compared to the good. But one of the things I really call out for this area is the fact that it is bisected by I-25. I-25 is a major interstate highway. It takes a lot of cars and a lot of travelers. Because it bisects the actual neighborhood, there's a bunch of side roads that go back and forth across it. And if you live on the east side of Castle Rock and you're making your way to the west side of Castle Rock, like say you're gonna go to the Miller Activity Complex coming from the east side of Castle Rock, those are going to be side streets you're going to have to get through, and the side streets are still 2-lane side streets, which means you're going to be spending about 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes getting from one area of town to the next, even though it's only 3 or 4 miles, which brings me to the point that traffic is a problem in and around the Castle Rock area, not only because of all the people getting off on the interstate for the outlet malls and to go see Main Street, but also because of all of the residents who are going back and forth trying to get to one place or another. In general, it's not that bad. It's kind of a minor con, but you know, nothing's perfect, so that's one of the ones I like to call out to begin with. Building off of that, there is a traffic issue as you go north and south. If you're heading up to Denver or down to Colorado Springs, especially during rush hour, the highways are vast, they're wide. They go from, I believe, 6 lanes down to 5 and then to 3 in some areas. But the amount of cars is a lot, and it will back up, especially as you make your way into the south end of Lone Tree and further north into downtown the Denver Tech Center. As you head south down to the Colorado Springs area, it opens up after Palmer Lake and Monument, but as you hit that north end of Colorado Springs, it bottlenecks and it backs up pretty badly. So keep that in mind if you're going to be a commuter going north or south. The next item I'd like to bring up, just for your consideration for Castle Rock, is that it is rapidly growing. I mentioned that it has not built itself out yet, which is awesome. There's plenty of time to get in and get an amazing property for amazing value, whether you want a large-scale home or a small or a condo or a townhome. That said, people have caught on that it is in the Goldilocks zone for between Denver and Colorado Springs, and it has a lot of value, so it is building out relatively fast. And with the interest of people moving here, property values naturally have started to go up. For your general frame of reference, the average single-family home in the Castle Rock area currently at time of shooting this video is going for $680,000. The average townhome is going for about $485,000, and condos can be found in the range of about $380,000, which means there's a lot of value that can be had down in the Castle Rock area, but it is still more expensive than the national median average across the United States, so it's not the cheapest location, but you are getting a pretty amazing setting if you make your way over to this neighborhood. Building off of the fact that it is growing and urban sprawl is making its way down to Castle Rock, it kind of is a bummer because it is building the area out, it's getting a bit more congested. but it is also improving the area because it is bringing in new life in the form of commercial space, residential space, and new shops and new restaurants. What's not so great is that the town of Castle Rock is kind of a quiet, sleepy town, and it does close down around 10 o'clock at night. Which means if you're more of an outgoing, social, nightlife kind of person, there are some opportunities there, but you're not going to be staying out necessarily very late. You can quickly get your way up to the Denver Tech Center or go all the way up to Cherry Creek or Denver if you choose. You know, grab yourself an Uber back if you have a couple of drinks or whatnot. But the nightlife in Castle Rock is not something that people really know or go there for because it doesn't really exist. It's more just dining and hanging out and more of like a family-centric, community-based feeling versus like an outgoing thing. So that's kind of what you'd expect in the suburbs anyway, but you know, sometimes people hold out hope. Maybe there's this place we can stay out until like midnight. Not so much in Castle Rock. My recommendation, should you move there, if you are looking for a community-based neighborhood, if you're looking for something not too far from downtown Denver or Colorado Springs, if you like the nature and the outdoor right at your fingertips, and you're kind of family or small community oriented, yeah, this could be your fit, absolutely. If you want the walk score where you can just go right out your front door, hit the coffee shop, walk over to a place for lunch, meet some friends over at the park, you're probably gonna wanna look a little farther north because Jefferson Park or like the Highlands or Rhino, that's gonna be more your vibe because there's not a whole lot of walk score in and around Castle Rock. So it's kind of a great fit for people looking for that community feel. If you want more of like that city dwelling feel, definitely look further north. Start maybe as close as the Denver Tech Center, maybe Cherry Creek if you can afford that, or up into the north and northeastern corner of downtown Denver. But all in all, yes, I highly recommend Castle Rock. I think it's one of those places that up until recently was an overlooked gem. Now people know it's pretty amazing and they're starting to migrate there quickly. So if you have questions about anything I put in this video, whether it's about Castle Rock or the surrounding areas, I highly encourage you reach out, give me a call at the number below. Call, text, or email is perfect. If you're finding anything I'm putting in these videos of value or helpful, do me a favor, just hit that like and subscribe button and the bell notification so you keep up to date each time I release a new video. I'd love to chat with you, see if working together might be a good fit. Again, my name is Bill Knapp, residential realtor here in the Denver metro area. I appreciate you sticking around to the end as always, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Cheers.